Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM22. It's career mode, and this is episode 21. Bano has been dropped because he crashed a long time ago with a big group, about a dozen riders. That group made it back to the very back end of the Peloton just as we began this little Category 3 climb. From there, over the course of that climb, the Peloton split near the front end. So he had been making his way up through the Peloton over the course of the climb, but was still, in the back third or so when it happened, as short as that climb is. Eventually, the group chased, and with this climb, they finally just now made it back into position. You can see he does not have a lot of energy left at this stage. So we're going to definitely turn him into a support rider for now. McKellar is looking really good. Pithy is who I want to provide some support to. And Bogley is who we're going to rely on, I think, for the overall. It's the Itzulia Basque country. We've got about 4 punchy stages and 1 time trial. Culverwell now starting to go backwards. Panamar does not have much left. And go ahead and gel up, even though it's a little late now for him. Let's go ahead and use Panamar to support Bogley instead, as again he's the overall. He's on a -3 today, but we lack time trial ability, period. He and Panamar are the only two that are okay. Panamar is only a 70-72, where Bogley is a 73-77. So he is punchy, he's a decent climber, and he's the only one who's going to be at least okay tolerable as a time trialist. I think we're probably going to be better off looking to win a stage, but that also feels unlikely as we're in the World Tour here, and there's plenty of high quality guys that are just a bit better. We're over the penultimate climb. The next climb is steep and going to be the decisive one, and honestly we really need to get things going kind of right now. Pithy's looking a little too weak, so I think today more of a McKellar, Coop, Bogley kind of day. McKellar today looks okay, and he does have decent time trialing. Coop, this is a objective for Coop and for Panamar. Nobody else got it because of the random calendar, because this is not an actual objective for the team. So Coop's going to have some good days and could be a contender, but he's just terrible as a time trialist. And Panamar ended up on a -1, and he could be a contender if he had good race day condition every day, but he's, I don't know, we just a little unfortunate with some of the draws. McKellar might be the best guy today anyway, and so we'll go ahead and set him up, and then Coop, Bogley will put at the back end to give that free toe. Pithy to lead things out, and Bano, where did he end up? He's back here a ways, but so is Pithy, so go ahead and use Bano now to bring things forward, set things up over the course of this descent, which means he won't recover, but others should at least be looking decent. No breakaway now, it's all back together. 117 in the Peloton, so most of the field is still here and in contention, and there you go. Bano is done. Panamar is too far back to try to bring into things, as he has recovered slightly there, but we will get these guys going. 13k to go in this stage, and like I said, I think we are more likely looking at trying to win a stage or see the field split into a small group, because the time trial is just not going to go well, period. I mean, we just can't have much expectation. Bogley is a little bit off there. We've got Coop, we've got McKellar. We're kind of riding for McKellar and then just trying to pull Bogley along. Pithy nearly done, and 9.4k, and we're already climbing. And it's 2.1k to go, so it's a pretty short climb. Coop now pushing. These guys on auto. Bogley struggling to keep up. Coop leading out well. McKellar still looking good. And we are now looking at 1.3k. Other guys are going to start coming along, but Coop's still out front. Bogley's fading because he doesn't have the red bar. I think we want to follow Vlasov here with McKellar. Meanwhile, Coop try to keep a decent position. McKellar couldn't follow for long there, could he? 400 meters near the top. McKellar still going full gas and still in a good position. Field, not much happening with the field. Why don't we just follow Ayuso? By the way, that's Roglic and Vlasov off the front. So it's 2 riders out there. And we've seen a split. McKellar, one of just 21. Coop also into the back end of this group for him. Just try to hang on to the back as best he can. And at the moment, he's not doing so well with that, as he nearly got dropped with a 99 effort. Not much of a gap here in the groups. You see another little split, 1.4K. McKellar, what is this run in like? Can't tell you what this run in is like. It disappears. We'll try to sprint now. That's already saying 1K. It was saying 1.4, but yeah. Oh, come on, McKellar. McKellar, he's a better sprinter than this. Why? Oh, Panama crashing. That's not helpful. Vlasov, Roglic hang on for the 1-2. Even though they were caught, they were never passed. McKellar 6th on the stage. Group of 12. 23-second gap to this chase group. You would think there should be a gap. Coop. There's another group. That's a 3rd group. Bogley, back into that group, may or may not get the same sort of time. There's group number 4, group number 5. By 2.5 minutes, we've had 5 groups. Let's see if they actually give some of the time gap. Punchy stage. They should be there. First gap is given after Hindley, so that 22-second gap exists. Second group also. Coop was given the same time at the tail end of that one. He definitely should have had it. Bogley's the one I'm a little worried about. That's 3rd and 4th group getting same time. Bogley not. So Bogley comes in 2-3 seconds behind Plapp and ends up time-wise half a minute behind him. I can see why he didn't get it, but there was definitely a second group in there before we then get to group 5. And then there's, the follow-up. But most of the groups, the gaps are given. And now McKellar is our lead man with a 20-second advantage over this chase group and a pretty legitimate shot at getting a top 10. He is our 3rd best time trialist and just a couple points off of being equal of best. His problem, though, is he's only a 71, 72 Mountain Hills rating, and it's going to take good race day conditions like he had today to replicate what he did, and that was why I didn't want to ride for him initially. Stage 2, and the draw couldn't have gone much worse than it did. We have a really bad net. Did the math a while ago. We had -13 and +6, so a -9 when the expected was a +4. So overall a -13. That's painful. I mean, that's just painful. Bogley, -8 over 2 stages. That's an average of a -4 for him daily, because he's net neutral 0. He's got good fitness. His level, he's at 99% fitness and no fatigue. So he should actually be seeing a slight positive number. 89 left in the Peloton, and we are going to be more in survival mode today than I think on a day like yesterday. McKellar with his time, and again with a good race day condition draw. Coop, the only one getting, Coop and Panama are the +2 expected. So out of the whole rest of the team, McKellar the only positive race day condition draw again today, and maybe that had something to do with his position and being happy over yesterday. Everybody else, for whatever reason, just not looking good. We'll follow Bogley here, but this is not about pushing hard or anything. Panama, and then Coop, and then McKellar, and Bogley We are not going to be attacking at the front or anything. We just want to get in a decent... Just under 4K on this climb. Everybody getting themselves in a position right now. It's going to get real steep real fast.
Only 10 kilometers left.
And there you go. We're seeing the attack, and down to 2.5K already. So actually, we're getting along here fairly quickly. Ponemar taking over. Best riders pushing hard, trying to attack. But you can see they're not going crazy, and they're not getting away. And most of the guys setting up. And now 1.7, so Ponemar push a little bit harder. McKellar gel. Now this descent is not as continuous as the last stage, but there's Ponemar done. On to Coop. Coop, I think we can get away with about a 93 here. Still McKellar in a strong position where others are not. Pithy, Bogley, they're done. They're out the back. Ponemar, also put him on auto, and Coop's already done. McKellar hanging in there. Group of 49. I think Coop can actually still give us a little bit of a lead out on the descent as one single solitary rider gains an advantage over the top, and we see the group dwindled down to 25, 27, chasing that one rider who only picked up a few seconds. And now Coop is able to give us a little bit of a lead out here. McKellar has that gel. Coop good on descending. That's good for McKellar. McKellar's okay. Back together and at 26 riders and 3K to go, and McKellar's, you know, semi-capable as a sprinter. So can Coop give him a proper lead out? We're going to start his sprint, and we're going to start McKellar's now. That was 1K banner, but we were supposed to be nowhere near the finish yet. McKellar coming on strong here. Another good result for him, but not a top 3. Too many guys that are just really good, really high accelerations. Godou, Bernal, Gregoire are your top 3, but McKellar again with a good result, not losing time today. I would imagine the whole top 12 are the same. Coop, there's a gap. Coop, the last guy behind, he might have himself lost a little time. Bogley now definitely out of contention. Coop should still be in an okay position, but McKellar for sure the guy now with 2 more punchy stages and 1 time trial. So interesting to note, the top 12, they weren't all there. 2 riders dropped. Now we're looking a little closer to a top 10 type finish. Now the chasers, Bernal gained a little bit of time today by finishing on the podium. We're down to, it's 18 till you get to the 49-second group, 52-second group. I mean, this is not huge gaps by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's 2:01 to 32nd. How long is the time trial? Not entirely sure. Coop inside a minute. Counting apparently is not my specialty. There are 6 stages, 5 punchy stages, and this, well, it's more like a sprint stage. It was quite easy. Culverwell, the only guy dropped. 140 still in the Peloton, and so I've been setting this up as a sprint stage. Though there was a big attack on this hill, 14K from the finish. I had to respond because there was a group of 7 that was very quickly starting to go clear, and it looked like nobody was going to chase. So I had to be the aggressor in a very unusual way, and we've had to push hard because of the strength of the field. So I've actually ended up having guys that pushed early on, 99, used up that red bar, dropped to the back. I've had to reuse them again in this setup. Bogley and then Coop was at the back end, and I've swapped order like 3 times in this one. Now 1.9K to go. Pithy still strong enough to lead us out. McKellar still strong enough to follow. I don't know, it feels like it's a little too early. I would love to have Ponemar go real fast, but it's too late for Ponemar. He's already a little bit back anyway. Bogley, Coop have nothing left to lead out, and if we sit up now and follow, there's no way we're going to win the sprint. So our only chance is to try. I have a feeling it's not going to succeed because we are too far out. But Pithy gets that lead out, sets up McKellar, gets us down inside 1K to go, but you can see how, as predicted, McKellar has gone a bit too deep. It's still 975 meters, and McKellar is only going to go so far. Next to him is Michael Matthews. He could be done early. Schmid, Shempison, Taberry, and then guys that are too far back. So, I mean, that's the good news here, but Roglic, and those guys aren't coming. So McKellar is going to stay ahead of quite a few of these guys, but I just don't think he's going to stay strong for long, and he doesn't, and neither do others. But McKellar is going to get second place. He's going to gain 6 seconds here. Is Pithy third? No, Schmid throws to the line. Sure looked like Pithy had that by half a wheel, but McKellar grabs 6 seconds. Matthews was done. Shempison was definitely not, but there you go. We get second place, grab an additional 6 seconds. That certainly helps our position out a little bit. Time trial's still coming though. McKellar about to set off, and it looks like a 0 or maybe a +1 race day condition. At least it's neutral, but what we could be looking for here is probably not a great time trial. Panamar, Bogli, similar time trial rating, and they were both 1.5 minutes down. So we're looking to lose roughly 1.5 minutes for McKellar. But of course, that's to Bissiger and Leknesund and Foss, really good time trialists. You start to see the group. I mean, Bjerg is a time trialist. So the regular guys start coming in around 30 seconds. Almeida, 28 seconds behind. I don't know how many of the top 10, top 20 riders are going to be in the state that, that they're going to be putting in excellent times, but I would say they're going to be about 30 seconds down on Venepul. I say that as Venepul just crossed the line and took over the lead, but of course Venepul is a tremendous time trialist, and while he can be a GC guy, he's not here. He's far enough down. Schachman, I think, just crossed the line at 24 seconds down. But that means we're going to lose a minute to a lot of the guys around me, and a minute is not quite what we have to spare. So I don't think we're going to be in the top 10 following this one, as we're going to push a little bit harder there for a moment, as we have that kind of slight uphill section. McKellar making up a little time. Made up a second or two, but you can see he was already 57 seconds down at the time check. And yeah, 0 race day condition, just not doing us any favors. By the way, after that terrible race day condition on stage 2, we did have a net positive as a team on stage 3, but of course it was a stage that it didn't matter. It didn't hurt us if we had that negative on stage 3. It hurt us a lot on stage 2. So unlucky there, but with 2.5K to go, McKellar, you can see he's got just a little bit of red bar left in the tank to push as you have that slight downhill. And just push him as much as we can inside this last kilometer. 1:38, like I said, 1.5 minutes. In fact, that put him immediately right between Panamar and Bogli, and they actually were a +1 compared to him in the time trial. Pogacar goes 4th. It's probably going to put him in the race lead, but otherwise none of the contenders in the top 10 on the stage. So outside of Pogacar, that was good for us. And remember, we did pick up 6 bonus seconds earlier, but 6 seconds when you lose 1.5 minutes doesn't amount to much. And sure enough, we are out of the top 10. Bernal moving himself in, seemingly at our expense. Sivakov, Roglic both moving up. Pogacar into the race lead. Gaudu, Vlasov, Evenepoel all the way up to 4th place. So even though he wasn't a contender, he moves on up. Like I said, it bumps us out of the top 10 entirely. I would imagine we're still in the top 15, hopefully. We'll see if that's the case. No, all the way down to 20th at 1:21 behind. Race is not over yet, though. All we need is, 20 seconds to get back in contention. But to get back into the top 10, we're looking at closer to a minute. 2 difficult stages remain. Time does not remain for this episode, so we are going to have to do those last 2 stages next time, and then that'll also bring us into Paris-Roubaix, which I think is just the following day after that. So 20th, I would have hoped to be higher, but I don't have any time trialists over a 70 here. It was quite obvious that this was not the best team, and it was going to be a difficult ask. We held on nicely for 3 stages. We even got a stage podium, which is fantastic. A 2nd place, so close to our first win at World Tour level, though it would have just been a stage, but a win is a win. Coop down to a +1 on that race day condition, so I don't know if he's taking on just a little bit of fatigue, as he was set for a +2, but everybody else is staying firm. From 20th, I don't know how much more you can ask of McKellar at this stage, but he's still obviously the guy we would ride for, because Coop's down in 33rd and nobody else is in the top 50, and I don't think Coop's going to suddenly do something. I also don't think this field is going to let a breakaway get much, because I don't think there's big enough gaps, and it's a short enough race that why would they let the breakaway take the stage? Wouldn't be a terrible idea to throw somebody on the back end of the field into the break as a just in case, but honestly I think we're going to have to just try to see if we can't improve McKellar's position and see if we can at least get him into the top 15, if not the top 10. I have to say that would probably be a pretty good race for us with our first stage race at World Tour level. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.